What's up, everyone? Ethan here. Welcome into the Dress Pro Sports channel. Back with another ESPN mock draft. We are doing a little bit of a different one today. We are in a 14-teamer drafting from the 9 spot. Shout out to Hey Brother in the YouTube comments asking about this video. I hope this helps you a little bit, at least, before the draft gets going and we get to our pick. Full disclaimer, I don't have a ton of experience with 14-team leagues. The majority of all my leagues throughout the years have been 10 teams or 12 teams. I've had a little bit of experience doing 8-team leagues and then a little bit of experience with a 16-team league in the past, but no 14-team leagues. So take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but regardless, I'm going to do my best to see if I can help you figure out how you like to attack your draft from the 9 spot. And I also hope this just helps anyone else who might be in a 14-team league. So definitely some auto pickers here in the first round. I will say in a bigger league, essentially what's going to happen is it's just hard to get a good team. So although it's still absolutely possible, we're going to try our best to get a good team in this one, but I would say maybe prioritize running backs a little bit more on ESPN. Here we go. Our picks up. I mean, if Amon-Ra is going to fall to you at 9, I'm taking him. So I am saying prioritize running backs a little bit more just because, already on ESPN, they're so overvalued and they're being taken earlier. And if you're not getting some running backs a little bit early in your draft, then it's going to be harder later to get some decent values at running back. It just depends on how your league mates decide to draft at the end of the day. But I think in a bigger league, I'm kind of conforming a little bit, and I'm more willing to target some running backs compared to maybe some other formats. Now, still have to make sure the value is going to be there a little bit. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do at the 9 pick is I'm going to see if one of those star wide receivers falls. I'm going to get an elite wide receiver and then look for running back in this next pick. I mean, most likely you're going to still get a Kyron, a Pacheco, a Henry, or an Etienne, and then that's what you're going with. And then after that, I almost would be looking for to just get that RB2 solidified in a start 7 and go for maybe a mix and a Cook. If you like Achane, I don't like Achane, as most of you guys know, but if you like Achane, you can go for Achane in the 3rd round, or maybe look for even Rachaad White, Kamara, Jacobs. I do like Jacobs. So, and then you don't have to worry about it. There's a lot of wide receiver depth later. I am okay to kind of wait. I mean, obviously, if there's going to be a tight end or a QB value fall to you, continue to take them. But I am going to be prioritizing receivers and running backs and building out the meat of the roster first. And then, I'm okay to get Brock Purdy later. I'm okay to target a Ferguson later as my tight end. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about this. So all of those running backs are gone. This is a really tough spot. So I see kind of how you're saying. I am super tempted to just go wide receiver again, but I know the running back depth is going to be looking pretty scarce at the next pick. I'm growing a little bit on Joe Mixon. I'm okay taking Joe Mixon. Like I said, we're going to push up the running backs a little bit and conform in a bigger league, just because I'm trying to ideally not get it's just going to be harder to build out your team, and you need a running back, an RB1, maybe like a hero RB build is going to be more ideal than going 0 RB. I was thinking Harrison there, though. So if you really like Marvin Harrison, I think you could take him and just try to continue to wait on running back. It's just going to look kind of ugly. So if you're okay, like I am, it's hard for me to conform with these running backs because I'm already not an RB guy. And in ESPN, these running backs are already being so overvalued. So it's hard for me to kind of be safe and pick one. If you think you can target Raheem Mostert maybe in the 6th or the 7th, that's a guy I'm okay getting later. But I think it's important because, obviously we didn't get lucky in this one. This tier went away right before us, even at pick 9. Kyron's gone, Derrick Henry's gone, Isaiah Pacheco's gone, Travis Etienne's gone. So if one of those guys was there, I would have been easily taking them. Unfortunately, did not work out. But I am growing a little bit on Joe Mixon. Kind of a guy I've been back and forth on throughout the offseason, but I'm really liking the potential of Joe Mixon. It seems like they just have given up on Dameon Pierce almost there. Like, he's a borderline cut candidate. And so if Mixon's on the field 75% of the snaps in an offense that we're projecting to be pretty good this year, I think he could be having a great season. So especially in bigger leagues where I am willing to prioritize running backs a little bit more, take Mixon. That's fine. Because if you don't get Mixon there, and maybe we do get Marvin Harrison Jr., and then there's most likely not going to be any running backs left at this next tier, and we would have been forced to do the 0 RB build. So, which obviously I'm not scared of. As I've said in my last video, I'm not scared of 0 RB. I think in a bigger league, it's just a little bit more scary because we know for a fact there's so much wide receiver depth. So I think I'm willing to play it a little bit more safe in a bigger league, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you want to take a risk and go for that upside, don't blame you. So, yeah, now that I was going to say if James Cook or Jacobs was going to fall to us, I'd take that and just be done with my starting RBs, but they're gone. You could think about Kenan Walker here. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably not going to take Ken Walker, and I'm probably going to take one of these receivers, if not two of these receivers that I really like. Yeah. So I'm really high on Devontae Smith, Waddle, and Debo. We got our hero RB. I'm not taking Ken Walker right here. Maybe we'll consider him at the next pick if it falls to us. Super high on Debo right now. I'm going to go with Debo. If you like Waddle, take Waddle. I'm not a huge fan of Diggs or Ayuk, especially with the contract situation still not being figured out. Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to take Debo in the late second round in even like 12-team leagues. So, especially if Ayuk gets traded. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Regardless, I like Debo at this spot. So I think it works out that we went Joe Mixon when we did. I think the hero RB build is going to be okay with this in this one. So we're gonna keep an eye on this next pick here. If there's a receiver that we really love fall there, maybe a Waddle, who I doubt's going to be there. Maybe a Neighbors. We'll think about taking him as our flex spot. If not, we're going to look at Ken Walker. And if Ken Walker's not there, this is where you're going to be looking at your quarterback. Josh Allen really Josh Allen, because we can wait on tight end, I think. Or if you really love one of these three tight ends that's going to be there, then you're okay to wait on QB, and then you do that. So, like, I could take Purdy later and prioritize tight end here. If Josh Allen's there, I'm going to take him, though. So we'll see what happens. We still have, 5 picks before we get to see. So we're going to keep an eye on the board. There goes Ken Walker. So we're going to go hero RB is what we're going to do here. We'll target Raheem Mostert maybe in the 6th round. I'm fine with doing that. Yeah, I think that's how I'd played it from the 9 spot. You just see if any of these running backs fall to you. Ideally, Travis Etienne, Isaiah Pacheco, Derrick Henry, Kyron, one of them falls to you in the 2nd round at pick 9. If not, then I'm willing to go for Joe Mixon or an Achane if you like Achane, and then build a hero RB format. So let's see what we got. Patrick Mahomes went. Josh Allen's still there. This is an easy pick for me. I think Josh Allen's locked in to be top 5 QB, probably top 3. If he's going to fall to you in the 4th in a 14-teamer, picking 9, then go with that. I mean, the fact that someone picked Ramondre Stevenson over Josh Allen is absolutely insane to me. If this happens I'm even fine with Mahomes there. I'm fine if Hurts is the one that's going to be there. I'm fine with if you like Lamar Jackson there. Maybe if you love Anthony Richardson, go with him there. I'm not an Anthony Richardson guy. So yeah, let's take Josh Allen there. That seems like the board just fell to me, I guess is how I view that. Evan Ingram in the fourth is a reach over guys like Kincaid. Is Andrews still there? Let's check. McBride. Yeah, it's a reach for Ingram. I think people saw Ingram catch 2 touchdown passes in the final preseason game for the Jaguars, where the starting Jaguars offense was going against second stringers, and people are going to overreact to that. If that happens in your home league draft within the next week or so, and then let that happen and be happy when you get a better player fall to you. So, all right, we don't get the tight ends. We like to fall back to us. I didn't think that was going to happen. Andrews, McBride, and Kincaid all go. We still have Pitts and Kittle there. Now, we did draft Debo, so I'm not a huge fan of getting skill position stacks. I'm more of a quarterback receiver stack or a quarterback tight end stack kind of person. Now, if the board falls to us that way and maybe we get Kittle fall to us in the 6th round, I'd be fine taking him there in this situation. But since we got Devo, I'm almost going to just try to target Ferguson maybe now. We'll see, though. I mean, if Pitts is there, that's going to be hard to pass up, but I'm definitely going to take a peek at the wide receivers again and the running backs. Yeah, so we have a few picks still here. 5th round. I mean, there's so much wide receiver depth. I'm tempted to just get my flex receiver locked up, but I mean, yeah, in this kind of format with 14 teams, like the depth still just goes away so quickly. So Godwin, Cooper, McLaurin, Reed are guys I like. It looks like Rashee Rice has been picked. Let's see the tight end situation. Kyle Pitts is there. And I'm pretty confident there's going to be a receiver I like fall to me in the next round to fill out the flex spot. Once again, I'm willing to wait for like a Mostert to be my RB2. I don't mind David Montgomery if you like him, but the upside isn't really there because of... Yeah, let's go Pitts. I'm going to go Pitts here. Kind of him and Kittle last of a tier, and I didn't really see both of them or either of them falling to me in the 6th, and I'm fine to fill out my flex spot with one of these receivers in the 6th. So I think I like the way we're building out the team. Like I keep saying, we're going to target Mostert. Singletary's getting some hype. I just don't want really any Giants players unless it's Neighbors, and even then I'm a little lower on him than a lot of people. I mean, if Najee Harris, Tajay Spears, Javonte Williams are all guys I'm okay with you taking, I just don't love the upside. So, like, I'd rather have a Pitts, and then I'd rather fill out my flex spot with one of these decent receivers than reach for a mid RB, So, here RB again in this build. I guess that's... I don't know what I'm saying here. I mean, I like the team so far for sure. It's very difficult. Like I said at the beginning of the video, take it with a grain of salt. I don't have a lot of experience drafting in 14-team leagues. It's definitely harder. That's what I'm getting from this. Just through the first several rounds, it's a lot harder. So, yeah, I think this is an easy pick for me. I think it's between Jaden Reed and Kirk. Yeah, Jaden Reed and Kirk are pretty much the same kind of tier for me. I'm going to go with Christian Kirk. I do like the Pack getting a piece of the Packers offense. I think we can just wait on that. Christian Kirk is a guy that should be used in the slot in that Jacksonville offense who I think could be getting a decent amount of receptions and looks and should kind of take a step forward offensive-wise. Like, I expect them to be the top half of the league on offense. If you can get Christian Kirk or Jaden Reed in your flex and in a 14-team league, I'm totally fine with that, PPR. So, yeah, let's continue. This is really interesting. I'm really trying to focus in here. This is definitely not easy. So I'm starting to feel you guys that draft in larger leagues. It's a lot more of a challenge. It's kind of fun, but it's also like, wow, you really have to. What it comes down to is I'm really just trying to find the values that fall to me here. Try not to get too caught up in certain players that I like to take, especially like comparing it to most of the other mock drafts I do, 12 or 10 team leagues. So Raheem Mostert gets taken end of the 6th round. That hurts a little bit. Maybe I was like too naive and just not understanding the board in a 14 team league format that he was going to come back to me at the end of the 7th. But I mean, bottom line is he's getting taken over guys like Najee Harris and Javonte Williams, who I guess they're all in the same tier at the end of the day. Yeah, so now we're looking at now the running back board is not looking too great when you're trying to start one of these guys. So looking back at it, maybe I've messed up a little bit and I should have taken instead of Christian Kirk, I should have just taken Tajay Spears and just continued to wait for my flex and maybe gotten Worthy in this end of the 7th round pick. That's maybe what I've taken away from it. We may get lucky here. Yeah, we got a little lucky. Let's take Najee. I mean, if Najee's going to fall there and you're looking for an RB2, that's a perfect pick. Not that I love Najee Harris this year. It's just, I mean, he's a starting running back on a team that I don't dislike as much as I dislike the Giants. So I think that worked out really nicely for us. We did get a little lucky. Zach Moss and Tony Pollard getting taken over him. So if you're able to get that kind of value, Najee Harris at the end of the 7th in a 14-teamer, that's just fine with me as the RB2. As I was saying, though, maybe instead of Christian Kirk, you go RB there, and then you're fine with maybe Christian Watson as your flex or Xavier Worthy as your flex. So maybe I would have done that differently. But yeah, I mean, we kind of ended up filling this out just fine. Starting lineups filled out, even though I don't necessarily prioritize filling out the starting lineup. Now we're just looking for depth. So Singletary's still there. It sounds wrong, but I almost would rather just take Blake Corum over Singletary. It's weird to say, like, a starting running back over a guy that, like, is absolutely going to be behind someone else. Let's look at the receivers. Ladd McConkey's still there. I do really like drafting Palmer later. Brian Thomas is there, but we do have Christian Kirk. Yeah, we're going to have to just go running back. You know what? I'm going to do the thing that I said multiple times in this video. Actually, no, I'm not. I was about to take Singletary. I'm going to reach a little bit for Chase Brown there. I'm really liking Chase Brown. I think there's upside in that offense. If anything happens to Zach Moss, Chase Brown could be a league-winning guy. I think the Bengals really like Chase Brown, so maybe a little bit of a reach. I didn't really trust that he was even going to come back to me after this turn comes up, so I'm fine with reaching a little bit. I was thinking Devin Singletary, though, by the way. I was about to, after just saying how much I didn't like him, I was about to take him there. If you get to that spot in your draft and you're like, I'd rather just have the safety of a guy that's going to be starting at the beginning of the season, go with Devin Singletary. I was fine with Najee Harris and Joe Mixon enough to where, like, I'm just going to swing for upside guy in a way better offense, so... All right, so yeah, we're going to probably start getting some decent values still. Let's look at the receivers again. Yeah, we're going to wait on that. We're just going to take another running back. Trey Benson's still there, not a guy I absolutely love. Jerome Ford's still there. That's probably a guy I'm okay taking, him or Gus Edwards. Trey Benson's still there. I have been cooling a lot on Trey Benson. I just think James Conner's obviously the guy there. He's a good handcuff. Jerome Ford is going to be starting the first half of the season. Let's just go Jerome Ford for safety. A little bit of safety at the running back position. Yeah, Kirker's defense is going over guys like Trey Benson. Very interesting. I guess that's ESPN mock drafts for you. All right, let's go back to looking at receiver here. Still don't really like any of these guys. I mean, the guy I want maybe the most is like a Shakir, a Mitchell, and then I'm still targeting Palmer later and Polk. I mean, shoot, let's go back over to the running backs again. Yeah, Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I mean, it's literally a coin flip for those two. I mean, would you rather have the upside of Dobbins or like the safety of Gus Edwards? Don't really want either of them, to be honest. Let's go down here and take Mitchell, guy I target late. Since we went Ford and Brown, I was okay just not going another running back there. We can try to get Rico Dowdle on our next turns. So we got 4 more guys still. Still liking the team. It's just kind of almost like shocked me a little bit coming into a 14-team draft. Like I keep saying, I haven't done a lot of 14-team league drafts, so did not really know what to expect as far as what players went where. I think it turned out well still, so I think it works out. I still kind of standing on, like, when it comes down to it, you're just going to have to pick RBs a little earlier than maybe you want to in ESPN. All right, here we go. Let's get Dowdle and then kind of be... Well, let me look at receivers again before I pick Dowdle. Yeah, let's get Dowdle here. And then probably be about good drafting running backs. And then we'll just get 2... we still have 3 draft spots here. We might get 1 more running back. McLaughlin's there too. That's a guy that has like Alvin Kamara's ceiling if Josh Payton wants to use him as that. And he's looked pretty good in the preseason. And I think the Broncos are going to be having to like throw to their backs a decent amount this year. Since we went Rico Dowdle, though, I'm going to come down here and reach for Palmer. In my last video, we got sniped on Palmer, so I'm going to reach a little bit for him, a guy I'm very high on late in drafts. Make sure we get him here. And we'll finish it out maybe with like a Polk and... Is Chuba Hubbard going to follow us maybe? I highly doubt it, but maybe. Chuba Hubbard's there, we'll grab him, and then that's about where I want to be done with running backs. Maybe Braylon Allen in a 14-team league you can reach on and draft late. Ray Davis is still there. There's some values still to look at. Let me look at the team again. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, targeting quarterbacks in a larger league is still something that, like, I'd be willing to just push back to prioritize running back and receivers. But it still just feels so nice to have a top guy like Josh Allen. So, totally fine with getting Josh Allen if he's going to be there in the 4th in a bigger league. All right, let's see who's going to be here still. Hubbard is there. Yeah, we got to go Hubbard. We're going to go Hubbard, and then we're going to go Polk if he's there. And then we'll fill out the defense and the kicker and rate the team out of 10. Once again, shout out to Hey Brother in the YouTube comment section. Hopefully this is helpful to you, man. I do want to kind of apologize. I don't have a ton of experience drafting from the spot or drafting in these kinds of leagues, but I hope this helps you and for your draft in a couple days. Let me get Polk. Polk is not there, so we're not getting Polk. I don't really like very many of these receivers, to be honest with you. And Ray Davis is still there. I mean, I only have 2 bench receivers, so I feel like I have to get a receiver here, even though there's some running backs I still like. You could go Purcell if Ayuk's going to get traded, you're going to go for Purcell. I like Wilson on the Cardinals. He was good last year, and I think I think this season, obviously Harrison's going to be the number one guy, and then they could still have McBride, but I think Michael Wilson is that third option. So late round guy, if something happens to Harrison or McBride, he should see an uptick of targets and what should be a good offense. I'm still waiting until the very end for kickers and defenses. You can just stream these positions all season long. You don't need to reach for them when there's guys on the board that could be values and league winners. Just fill out them very late. Unless you absolutely are in love with Justin Tucker, and then you can see if he falls a little bit, and if he's there at like maybe round 13, then you can take him there, I guess, but I just don't care enough. I'd rather just wait. Yeah, like let's just go with McLaughlin from the Bucks, and then we'll finish it out with just whatever defense. Maybe the Packers defense or the Falcons. I have no clue which defense is going to end up. Obviously, there's the top ones, but after that, I don't really know whose defense could be good. I'm just prepared to stream them all season long. A couple people still lasting until the end. We'll just take the Falcons because they're the top here. Doesn't really matter. Let's let this finish out, and then we'll grade the team out of 10. I do really like this team. I mean, even in a 12-team league, I would not, like it's a hero RB format, I wouldn't dislike this team at all, even in a 12-team league. So I think we did pretty good for not having a ton of experience drafting in larger leagues. Pick number 1 picks, so then we can see us. Let's just go roster view. There we go. All right. So Josh Allen falls to us in the 4th. I think that's an A pick. I mean, if there's anyone being drafted before Josh Allen, then that's awesome for you. I don't understand why people are like so low on Josh Allen. I know the reason, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because obviously Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis left. I never really thought Gabe Davis was all that good anyway, so I think he's pretty easily replaced. Stephon Diggs is a little bit of a hurt. But at the end of, like, when you think about it, he wasn't all that good at the end of last year, and Josh Allen was still putting up fantasy points. So, you know, they take a risk with Keon Coleman. They have Shakir. They have Curtis Samuel there. They have a pass-catching running back. Josh Allen gets a lot of points with his legs. I think Josh Allen is going to be QB1 again this year, if not probably top 3. And then I'm pretty sure, unless something bad happens, he's pretty safe for top 5 QB. So I'm over the moon if he's being taken as like the QB4 and he falls to you. Great pick there. Went hero RB with Joe Mixon. I did explain that I'm growing a little bit on Joe Mixon. We wouldn't have gone Joe Mixon if it wasn't a 14-team league. I'm happy we did go Joe Mixon because it would have been harder to get running backs later that like we liked. We would have ended up with like Najee Harris and maybe Mostert we would have gotten in the 6th, but like maybe not, right? So it would have looked pretty ugly. So it did work out, though. We went Joe Mixon, and then we had Najee kind of fall to us in the last of a tier a little bit later. So it worked out. It was a little risky. But I think in the end of the day, if you don't really want to take Christian Kirk where we did in the 6th, you just take your running back like a Mostert in the 6th, and then you take Christian Watson as your flex the next round. I think that's how you could play it. Prioritize RB. Don't be afraid to prioritize RBs a little bit more in a bigger league, I guess is kind of what I'm taking away from this mock draft. We ended up going Amon-Ra on the 1st. I would have done that again. I think the value at 9, if Amon-Ra's there, is just too high to pass up. I'd rather have Amon-Ra over Gibbs, over Saquon, over Jonathan Taylor. So take Amon-Ra. You just have to, almost. I love Debo this year. We went Debo as our wide receiver 2. I would take Debo at the end of round 2, especially if Ayuk gets traded, so that feels fantastic. I don't get a lot of Kyle Pitts. I wanted to lock in my tight end position with Pitts. I think getting a little bit of a part of the Falcons' offense is never a bad idea. If Kirk Cousins is healthy all year, I think they should be decent and putting up fantasy points. Maybe Kyle Pitts is like the next TJ Hawkinson, you know? So probably like Kittle over Pitts. However, since we had Debo, okay, going with Pitts. Christian Kirk as the flex is just fine with me. Like we said, I could have played that differently. Maybe went an RB at that pick and then got Christian Watson or something later. Christian Kirk is just fine as your flex, though. Maybe not a guy I'm super happy about, like over the moon about, but definitely not a guy I'm mad about. He's just maybe a safe mid pick. The bench ended up turning out okay. I did go a little running back heavy just because I was a little uncomfortable with Najee Harris as my RB2. So we got another mixture of high upside and safe guys like in Jerome Ford's pretty safe. Chuba Hubbard's safe. And then we went with Rico Dowdle and Chase Brown as our high upside guys on the bench. And then we go with guys we like in Mitchell and Palmer and Wilson. So obviously it's going to be harder to get a good team in larger leagues. Ranking this one out of 10, I mean, I think for a 14-team league, we did very well still. I'm not going to give it a 9. I'm definitely lower on it than with having not very much practice in a 14-team league. I'm lower on it than most of my mocks. I'll give it just an 8. I think we did good. Definitely a couple picks I maybe would have changed up. For example, the Christian Kirk one. Maybe we just do go running back after Amon-Ra where we go Mixon and I forget who our options would have been instead of Debo in the third. Maybe it was like Mixon and maybe Ken Walker was there. Maybe you do that. I do like the way the receivers look, though. And in full PPR, I mean, I'm fine with getting receivers as well. I mean, you're going to need them. So I'm going to just give it an 8, kind of like a middle-of-the-road score for myself for most of my mocks. But let me know what you guys think. I hope this helped any of you guys that have 14-team leagues. Once again, shout out Hey Brother in the YouTube comments. I hope this helps you, man. Good luck in your mock draft, or not in your mock draft, in your home league draft within the next couple days. After you draft, let me know how it goes in the comments. I love to hear maybe how it went or see some of the guys you targeted or ended up getting. So good luck again. If you guys find this video entertaining or helpful at all, please like it and subscribe to the channel. We'll be continuing to get out some content as the season gets going. Keep an eye out for another YouTube video here within the next couple days. I'm going to be probably drafting again from the 2 spot in a 12-team league. That's where I'm practicing for my home league myself, so I could use you guys' opinions on that as well. But yeah, until the next one, keep your eye out for it. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.